Hi there. Today I want to talk about tool use in the context of the agentic world. What is the agentic world? The agentic world is the trend or the hype now to have AI agents for specific tasks, have them working together on solving problems or being your assistant with your emails, with your everyday work, sitting in a robot, maybe sitting in a car, sitting in your desktop machine or your phone. They can basically be everywhere. And one terminology that is being used right now for agents is also GPTs. Yeah, we have a GPT store on ChatGPT where you can sort of select individual agents that perform individual tasks for you. And these agents typically use some tools, and that's what makes them an agent, because they can do stuff. They can not only text and write you something, but often they also can do more than that. Typical examples are web search, code execution, but you can imagine arbitrary other functionalities that these agents have access to in order to perform the task that you give to them. I would like to highlight here that there are two types of tools or skills. There's one which I call explicit tool usage. That is, you provide a Python function, for example, or a function in any other computing language, and you tell the agent to use this function at specific triggers. So for example, you can write a web search function using the DuckDuckGo library to perform a web search, and this web search is triggered whenever the user asks the agent to do a web search. Simple as that. But there is also an implicit way of defining tools. For example, you can tell an agent, please use a Python function in order to write a PowerPoint file and have the user being able to download the PowerPoint file. What happens then is that the agent uses its own world knowledge in order to write the tool itself, so to say. I find that is very exciting, honestly. It can, if the agent has the respective abilities, it can perform code execution in order to create you an actual PowerPoint file that you can download. The same is true for SVG files, for XML files, for JSON files, for whatever file format you can imagine. OBJ files for 3D objects or whatever. Yeah? And this is very interesting because this opens a completely new space. I think many of you know that this is possible, but do you actually really use it? So I want to motivate you to use these abilities. Large language models can not only write language, they can also write code, they can also write HTML, they can also write graphic files. Yeah? Sometimes they cannot execute those files, they cannot show you the respective HTML file or the vector graphics or whatever you are creating, but they can create the file content for you, and you just copy paste it over into your SVG file. You create an empty file, call it .svg, copy in the code that ChatGPT created for you, and then you open that file in, for example, a browser, and suddenly you see the vector graphic that ChatGPT created for you. Sure, the quality is probably, in many cases, not so well, and there's a lot of prompt tuning also needed in order to get it to use the right colors, to use the right styles, and so on. But I'm sure we will get there, that these models understand what we want from them much better even, and are able to write much more high quality file contents. And so please be aware, there's not only explicit tool use by providing external tools to an LLM model, but there's also implicit tool use by elaborating on the knowledge that the model already has from all the training data from the internet that have been used to train that model. Yeah, and with that, happy tool using!